Welcome to Crimson Ad Talks. I'm your host, Fangzhou Jiang, or FZ. Today, I'm sitting down with Brad Latilla-Campbell. Welcome back to the podcast, and thank you for joining us today as we talk about the common mistakes to avoid in college applications. In your opinion, Brad, what are some of the common mistakes that students make on their college applications?
FZ, the number one mistake that I see college student or college applicants make on their applications is addressing their personal statement, the general essay that gets sent to every college they're applying to a specific university, talking about how much they want to attend only their dream school and letting all of the other colleges know that they aren't at the top of the list. This can really affect how those other colleges see your application and can honestly, in some cases, offend them and mean that it can make the difference between you getting in and not getting into a different university to your dream university.
Absolutely. I spend a lot of time working with students on crafting their applications, and I can often see students turning these application essays that are very, very generic, that are not tailored to their individual situation. I often ask people, hey, if I take your personal essay and then submit it for myself, would that essay still work? And if the answer is yes, then that means your essay is being too generic. And if your answer is no, like literally, I cannot use a single sentence on your application essay. That means you've done enough work tailoring that essay to your specific situation. In addition, I would say that a lot of the students aren't doing in-depth enough research about each individual institution they're applying to, and thus their supplemental essays or materials also look very generic. It could work for Harvard, it could work for Yale, it could work for Princeton. If that is the case, then that means you haven't done enough research. Your argument wouldn't be that compelling, right? Because often sometimes, students, their biggest, argument for a school like Stanford is that I love Stanford because it's incredibly diverse. I love Stanford because it cares about academics and innovation and is a very friendly environment, very open-minded. Well, none of this is inaccurate. The issue is that you can say the same thing about any other colleges that are of the same caliber. So tailoring your pitch to yourself, to your own situation, to your own ambitions, and tailoring that to the university that you're applying to is very, very crucial. In addition to the pitching, the essay element, what else do you see students not doing so well in their whole journey around maybe time management or some other elements that you see often students make mistakes of?
FZ, I would say there's three general mistakes other than the personal statement that I see students making an error with. The first is leaving that personal statement writing until the last minute, which means they can't write a fully realized personal statement that reveals something about themselves, or that it's poorly edited with typos and mistakes, doesn't set their best foot forward when they're sending in those applications to a university. The second area is the activities list. Now, in the Common Application, there are 10 slots for your activities that you've done outside of the classroom. Many students from outside the US don't realize the importance of that activities list when applying and can sometimes leave some of those slots blank. And really, when you are applying to a college in the US, it is best to fill up those slots, even with activities that you think do not matter to the admissions committee, because you never know what they might find interesting, whether it's a summer job or a part-time project that you took on coding or doing something that you really love. They can learn something about you and tell what you're going to be like on campus by looking at that activities list. And leaving space means you're missing out on an opportunity to tell them something about yourself. And related to that, the third area is the additional info section on the Common App. Sometimes I see students overstuff this with information that's not really relevant to the application. Other times students don't use it at all. And it's a great space to be able to elaborate on some of the things that you didn't have enough space to fully describe in either the activities or academic honors sections of the application. It's a really crucial area that a lot of international students sometimes don't recognize the value.
Absolutely. I think you've definitely touched on some of the most important points around filling out the Common Application form. If you follow these advice from Brad, your Common Application will definitely be amped up by at least a couple levels. That's awesome. I guess in addition, in my experience, I've seen students also making mistakes in other areas. For instance, not planning their whole journey in an optimal way. And what I mean by that is obviously as a high school student and as an ambitious high school student, you already have a ton on your plate, right? You have school studies, your homework assignment, you have your extracurricular stuff already. That kind of keeps you busy for most part of the year or most days of the week. But in addition, if you are really seriously preparing yourself for top US colleges or even universities in the UK, you have to set aside time for the SAT or the ACT, as well as additional extracurricular activities, as Brad mentioned, other form of engagement. Maybe some students go for a summer program in the US over their long holidays in June, July. Maybe some students choose to take a research project following the guidance of a mentor and really make scientific discoveries or other important analysis in the humanities or social sciences. A lot of these things take time and they don't happen whenever you want them to happen, right? SAT is only offered several times a year at certain month of the year. And so is the ACT. And also summer program has very strict application deadlines and program dates as well. So you need to make sure that you have a comprehensive plan so that you know at each point of the year, at each point of your month, your week, what do you have going on, what's due, so you can prioritize accordingly and ensure that you can simultaneously handle multiple things and not miss. So I think that planning piece is very important. Prior planning usually prevents poor performance, as people often say. So a good plan is crucial. Yeah, college applications, as we've been talking about in the past few episodes, it's a very complicated process. It can be daunting. It can be overwhelming, which is understandable because for most of you, you'll be doing it for the first time in your life. Avoiding common mistakes is very essential because we are in this very, very competitive process. We want to make sure that we stand out at the end, given the declining acceptance rate. We do want to make sure we present best possible image of ourselves to the admission officers and committees. At Crimson Education, we're very passionate about helping students who want to really plan their whole journey well and equip themselves with the best possible advice and strategy going into this process. We have a very big team of mentors, folks that have done this, many, many times, advising others, as well as walking the talk themselves very successfully as well. So yeah, hopefully these advice could be helpful to you. And Brad, thank you again for joining the Crimson Ed Talks today. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thanks, FC.